You may also find yourself looking to execute queries that are going to return maybe top regions, top salespeople, things like that, where an entire group meets a particular criteria. This is where having statements come into play. Having statements are going to filter groups, and so they allow me to make sure that an entire group is going to meet a particular criteria. So for example, I might be looking for customers who've spent at least $100,000. Now, if I want to find the total amount that a particular customer spent, or all customers spent, that's of course going to require an aggregate, we'll say sum, and then a group by for the customer. And then if I want to look for just those big customers, just the ones that have spent at least $100,000, that's where my having statement is going to come into play. Or maybe I'm looking for salespeople that are more than 30% under their quota. Again, same concept, that I'm going to be aggregating my data together, and I'm then going to be putting the condition into the having statement to see whether or not people are within the 30% threshold of their quota. Let's go back to our query and let's just look for the biggest regions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste this query into a new window, and I'm just going to simplify it a little bit, just trying to make it a little bit easier for us to work with. And I'm just going to get it back down so that it's just the total due and it's the territory. Now what I want is I just want territories that have sold at least $20 million worth of product. So the way that we do this is by putting in a having statement, and then we'll say sum of the total due is greater than, and then 20 million. Now you'll notice on a having statement that we are allowed to have an aggregate, because of course really a having statement doesn't exist without aggregates. And you'll also notice that I don't need any form of a group by here. The group is sort of almost implied that it's automatically going to wait until everything is done and then figure out, okay, well, which matches that requirement of at least 20 million. So now when I execute this, what you're going to notice is I only get back Canada, Northwest, and Southwest. Those are the only 3 territories that have sold at least $20 million. So that's how I can limit to just specific groups.